It's important to focus on the specific consequences of specific ideas. So I want to make it very clear that I am not holding religion responsible for every bad thing that a religious person has done in human history, to be balanced against all the bad things that atheists have done. I'm only holding religion responsible for what people do and will continue to do explicitly for religious reasons.
It's important to note that I did not edit that previous clip. That is exactly how I found it. And I'll link to the video there in the sidebar. Take a look. I mean, what Sam says there is two contradictory statements. It's important to focus on the specific consequences of specific ideas. And I've said this many, many, many times. I agree with that. That's what we need to do. That's how we will solve the problems. When we have differences, let's be specific. Let's be explicit. Let's let our concerns be known as specifically as possible. Okay, yes, I agree. But then he says, I'm only holding religion responsible for what people do explicitly for religious reasons. The two problems I have with that statement, in addition to the fact that I think it conflicts with what he just said in the previous sentence, the problem that I have is that he is holding religion, all religious thought, responsible for these specific instances that he's talking about. And take a look at the wording that he says, that for what people do explicitly for religious reasons. I mean, when he's using the word explicitly, I mean, that means unambiguous or stated or obvious. Why does Brother Sam think that religion is the sole motivator for any action? In my experience, religion is not the sole motivator for any action. And so, why would you hold the religious motivators solely responsible for actions that have other motivators? To me, that just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And when we're not talking about religion, Sam seems to agree. Watch.
It is amazing how many people think that the crimes of Hitler and Pol Pot and Mao were the result of atheism. The truth is, this is a total misconstrual of what went on in those societies and of the psychological and social forces that allow people to follow their dear leader over the brink. I mean, the problem with fascism and communism was not that they were too critical of religion. The problem is they're too much like religions.
Did you catch that? These other things were like religion. That's the problem. I just don't think that's a fair comparison. Especially when Sam was going to say later in the speech, it's important to focus on the specific consequences of specific ideas. To pin dogmatism solely on religion is just not fair. But that's beside the point. When it comes right down to it, Sam is willing to analyze the situation as a whole in things where religion doesn't appear to be one of the motivators. But in areas where religion is a motivator, he's going to specifically criticize all religion for that. And I just have a really big problem with that. I really think that Brother Sam is playing a word game with us here. And I mean, take a look at the next part of this clip here, where he goes ahead and analyzes further some specific ideas. Take a look.
Auschwitz, the Gulag, and the killing fields are not the product of atheism. They're the product of other dogmas run amok. Nationalism, political dogma. The history of Muslim jihad, however, does have something to do with Islam. The atrocities of September 11th did have something to do with what 19 men believed about martyrdom and paradise. The fact that we're not funding stem cell research at the federal level does have something to do with what Christians believe about conception and the human soul.
Now, did you catch that? He said it does have something to do. Yes, and I would agree with that. It does have something to do with that. But what does it have to do with that? Specifically, remember, this is the man that said it's important to focus on the specific consequences of specific ideas. So let's be specific about that. What are the specific ideas, and why would we criticize religion in general for that? My answer is clear. We don't criticize religion in general. If you want to talk about the September 11th hijackers, then talk about that. Talk about their religious motivation. And I think it's important to note that killing by fire is considered wrong by the vast majority of Muslim scholars. I think it's important to note that the vast majority of Muslim scholars do not agree with attacking civilians, specifically women and children. So, if we want to look at that, then let's look at that. But we also need to look at the specific non-religious motivators for that action as well, just to be fair. And likewise with the stem cell research, I agree. Let's examine the Christian ideas of conception and the human soul, but let's look at all the other motivators there as well. There are non-religious people who believe that life does begin at conception, so we can't simply throw out the concerns of religious people solely because they're religious concerns.
It is amazing how many people think that the crimes of Hitler
September 11th
were the result of
religion.
The truth is, this is a total misconstrual of what went on in those societies and of the psychological and social forces that allow people to follow their dear leader over the brink.